right, to Impact. Now I'm going to try and make this as short as possible because I got congestion and I have a little bit of nasal drip, so I don't want to take too long where my nose is going to start running. So let's make this very clear. You see the title. The final match was good, but, and this kind of goes with the entire show. The show generally was good, but there were some things there. Now, understandable. They got maybe 1 week left, and we still don't know if they're going to give us more content. If they go by traditional TNA, or Impact for that matter, we will not see anything after next week. We will see reruns on Christmas, and we will see reruns in New Year's. We will see nothing. Now, we still don't know if they're going to actually give more content than what they normally do, because if they're going to go and be smart about this, because they are going to AMC on the 15th and then Genesis on the 17th, it would be wise to give us a little bit of extra content than what they normally would give. Like next week is content, the week on Christmas we get some content, and New Year's we get content, and then they can go dark for a week or two. And it wouldn't hurt. But it's hard to say. It is very hard to say because I don't know and I don't want to know. I'd rather be surprised because I will check Christmas Day. Well, what is it, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day when it comes out. And then the New Year's Day, I believe, is also on a Thursday. So I will check to see if there's new content or not. But it's a big question if we're going to get anything after next week. And what did we get this week? Woo. Matt Cardona versus a little bit of Lexis King. Let's make this very clear. Do I care about the NXT Outsiders? No. I don't. There's only one thing in NXT Outsiders that has a real story that I do care about. And that's with Stacks with a little bit of Santino. You know what I mean. That's what I care about. So this match really doesn't mean anything. It wasn't a bad match between the two. Lexis King can wrestle. Brian Pillman Jr.'s son can wrestle. We know Matt Cardona wrestles. There's no problem. It counts on the story. And what is the story is that Lexis was losing, and it's Stacks who saves his ass, who is the current international champion, which is not bad. And we already heard later in the night, because of what happened, and particularly when you see them approach the Outsiders, and I don't care about the Outsiders. There's only one story in the Outsiders to care about, and that's Stacks and Santino. They come and face Santino because they took out Matt Cardona with that little bit of shortened shillelagh, because it looked like a shillelagh. Now, Santino decided he's going to be in the steel cage match. That's next week. Like I said, I even called it, didn't I? I called it. I said Stacks and Santino are going to have a situation on their hands because sooner or later Stacks is going to face Santino, and the question is going to be, what is Ariana going to do? Now, we just saw Ariana smack the taste out of the mouth of her future husband because they're not married yet. He's not the real son-in-law of Santino. They're not married yet. And she just smacked the face of the guy that she's supposedly going to be married to. So the big question is going to be, what is Ariana going to do when that moment comes and they're going to be in a match? Santino and Stacks are going to be in a match. Maybe the International Championship will be included, but to be honest, it doesn't really need it. The story is Stacks has seduced his daughter. His daughter is not understanding what's going on, and he's going to try and save his daughter. And he will face Stacks for her. That's what it's coming to. Next. Here's the thing. Seeing Grace and seeing Hudson, I've been wanting this for months. We have gotten very little from Grace and Hudson. They got no tag name. They're just Grace and Hudson. And then we get the Elegance brand. And we get some packages. And then we get, and I believe it was Hudson, putting a little bit of a package on top of the Iceman's head. Yeah. Whump. Because he tried to interfere in the match. But in the end, the Elegance brand cheated and won. But here's the big question. What are they going to do with Hudson and Grace? We need something from them. We need them to be participating more in matches and more in story. I am hoping that we will get something next year because I know everyone keeps saying we got plenty of women now. Well, we may have women, but as I've always stated, it counts on creative to do something with them. As I've always stated, I don't care what a person had outside of WWE, outside of TNA, outside of AEW. They could be one of the biggest and hottest things in sliced bread. It always depends on the promotion they're now a part of to book them and present them. If they don't present them, why do you care? I don't give two damn flips about what both of them have done. They could be champion across 100 promotions, but if TNA doesn't promote them, why the blue fuck would I care? This is where they must get something done next year, because if we don't do anything with them either as a tag or separate individuals, what is the point of hyping them up? And yes, I believe her name is, what is her name? Mills? I can't remember her name. She's now working with, unless I see her enough times, I'll remember her name. But Mills, I believe Mills, who's working with Tessa and, well, the segment that we got between the Angel Warriors, well, basically, Zaya pretty much making it clear in Chinese, Mandarin, I don't speak it, but I'm sure that's what she was talking about, how she and her best friend beat the shit out of each other, and Zaya said it in English. But then when you see a little bit Victoria Crawford, a little bit Tessa Blanchard, and Mills, I can't remember her name right now. I will eventually remember it. I know you're going to say something. You don't need to. I will remember her eventually when I see enough of her. Remember, this isn't about knowing her name now because of what she did on the indies. It's about when they present her to make me care. This is what many people do not understand. If they do not make her mean something to me or to you, why do you care? Because of what she did on the outside? Who gives a damn shit about what she did on the outside? She is now paid to work in that company, and if they don't do anything with her, why would you care? So until I see anything that's interesting, I don't care. And basically, Tess is the only one that matters at this moment because she's already made it very clear she was world champion and knockouts champion. And when she's ready, she's coming for the title. Which, I gotta say this, and I am satisfied. I still am not happy in the beginning of the show, in the beginning of the year, how they booked her. I truly believe they wanted to make her a badass. She needed to go through everyone in the entire roster, no matter if they were a girl that was a heel or a face. It made no difference. But the way they've been booking her, she's not been a top priority. They've been letting her work with Victoria, where legitimately I think she's been having a lot of fun. Remember, I've stated this myself. Victoria Crawford, who worked with Paige, who was Paige's best friend, Saraya, she don't mess with no racists. Like I said, she's legitimately enjoying working with Tessa Blanchard, and Tessa's been enjoying working with Victoria. So I think that's what she's been fine doing with. She's not caring about being the one on top of the tower. She's just enjoying what she's doing. Now, I'm not tooting her horn. I'm just going by what has been presented. And that's a pretty good thing. She's not been pushed heavily. She hasn't won every match. And she's been more almost comedic than anything else. Which, not great comedic, but this is what we've been getting, Tessa and Victoria. So I think that's not bad. Now, let me give it to you in this respect. In the beginning of the show, did I care about Santana? Yes, I did. Did I care about Kaz? Yes, I did. I care about Kazarian. And I know not everyone's happy with Kazarian. I wasn't happy because of the way they booked Santana. But am I glad he's a champ? Yes. Because, in my point of view, Kaz is not a bad pick to be a champion. Either a long-term champion or transitional. Is he a great character? No. But not everyone is. But you know, he'll give a decent level of character development, a decent work in the ring, very good, and then good mic skills. He's got mostly good charisma, so he may not be here. He may not be here, but he's here. And in some cases, relevancy does not require you to be here. You can be anywhere in the card as long as you're relevant. And Kaz is relevant. And I did enjoy what Santana said. I don't know what he said in Spanish because, like I said, I may be half Spanish, but I didn't grow up with it, so I don't know what he said. But generally speaking, when he did speak English, I thought he spoke very to the point, making it clear that Kaz, I don't blame you for doing it, Daddy. I don't blame you. You did something you said you were going to do straight to my face. You're going to cash that shit in. You did. And more props to you, but I'm still pissed off. And I'm coming for you after the steel cage match. I will be coming for you. There's going to be a target on your dome, not on your back. I'm coming for that. So I thought that was good. Now, here's the match that I'm like, did I care about this match? Now, this was supposed to be for the number one contendership for the X Division. We got Jake something. We had the new guy who's supposed to be, what is his name again? It's supposed to be BDE. Haven't seen him before. I don't care if you say, dude, he's been getting hot in the indies. I don't care if he's hot in the indies. What is TNA doing with him? Nothing yet. Cedric Alexander. And then we got Desmond Xavier along with Ryan Nimitz. If I'm forgetting anybody, Hunch from Order 4. A good match. Seeing Jake something tear through them by just going back and forth across the ring, that was a lot. Seeing Cedric Alexander facing a little bit of Desmond Xavier in the ring, I wouldn't mind seeing a match between these two. I want to see them tear up because I know for a fact that you couldn't see as much as you wanted on NXT before either one of them left. But I think you could see a lot more here due to the fact that Cedric Alexander, he's free and he can be a little more creative the way he wants. And Desmond Xavier now, with his back fixed pretty well, he can move around very well in the ring. And I want to see these two go. And in the end, it is Cedric Alexander who now gets a shot again against the Young in Charge, which is not a bad thing. But I kind of wish it had been not Cedric Alexander, but who would have been the best one there? Hunch was good. And it would be easy to say Jake something, but I think Desmond Xavier would have been better. I'm sorry if I said Desmond Xavier is the winner. It was Cedric Alexander, just in case. But I think it would have been good to see him as the one that won. The match I really didn't care that much about at all. The Saint and Sinners versus the System. Now, understandable they're trying to consider them as the replacement for JDC. But to be honest, no. No. I don't want to see Sin and Sinner. I don't want to see Icarus and Williams in the System. I don't. I'm hoping they're not going into the System because that's no better than when they were in the Armory. I don't want that. These guys have no character. None. And if you really want to make the tag division mean something, these guys got to mean something. They got to actually be built. And I don't see them being built if they go in with the System because the Northern Armory, they never got anywhere with Eric Young. Not one damn bit. They were just background. And if they join the System, they'll be background again. And I don't want that. We need credible tag teams. And since I'm talking about it, here we go. The Hardys with the Righteous. Now, I made a video on the Righteous. I'm interested in seeing how they're going to book the Righteous. Because the Righteous really reminds me of Abyss. And I want to see where they're going to go with this. Not the character Abyss, but let me give you like this. They are so different. They do remind me of the earliest Abyss, but not evil yet. because we don't know how they're going to be. We know they're going to turn on the Hardys, and them saying 100% that the Hardys are forever immortal, and they want to just watch and witness the glamour and the ecstasy maybe of seeing them win their steel cage, which could mean something very nasty afterward. We don't know. But I want to see how they're going to book them. I really did like how Dutch talk. Now, I've not seen Dutch talk much. I think maybe twice I've seen Dutch talk. This is the third time. And he talks well. And I know how Vincent talked. Because when you look at what happened with the Kingdom, if anybody remembers, in TNA there was the Kingdom. And he was a part of it. He was always a good talker. And he was, at one point, the handler for PCO. So I know he can talk. So the question is going to be where they're going to go with this. Finally, the dog collar match. They don't do many women dog collar matches. They don't. Not talking TNA, but in general with women's wrestling. They don't always do it on the main shows like WWE, TNA much. I'm not saying they haven't done it. And AEW, I haven't really seen it yet much. Maybe, I think they've done at least one or two. I think. I can't remember right now in AEW. But I know TNA, they more than probably done it already, more than a few times. But this one was a lot more rougher than you normally did. A dog collar match, because someone signed off on Dani Luna after she got her head plowed into the ring post outside to Blaze. And she bled. That girl, I think, might have dig a little bit too deep into her scalp, because that girl was bleeding heavily once it started. And by the end, it was dripping like someone just threw water on her face. She was bleeding heavily. Was it a bad match? No. It wasn't a bad match. I can't say it was the best match I've ever seen in a dog collar match for a woman, because I haven't seen that many. But I will say it was a good dog collar match overall, no matter what sex you had. Was it sloppy in certain points? Of course, it's a dog collar match, and particularly, Dani was bleeding all over the place, so you can't really be neat. But I think it was done very well. But here's the big question. It's a big one. How did AMC respond to this? Because, remember, as I said in the beginning of this video, they had to sign off on this. For Dani to blaze, she had to be signed off on it. Because I don't think she bled just because she hit the ring post. No, I think she blazed herself. And she blazed deep. Much deeper than she thought she was going to. And in this situation, she bled a lot. And there's going to be a big question of how AMC is going to respond to that. Of course, they still got a month to go. They're not even close to it yet. And the question is going to be, how is WWE and TNA going to respond to this? Because remember, WWE is going to be on AMC now. As much as TNA is, that's the home of it, WWE is going to be seen with them. They're going to keep sending NXT people there. And they're going to be connected to the hip, at least for a little while longer. Who knows how long they're going to keep this collaboration going. So the question is going to be, how far is AMC going to allow them before they say, bad TNA, behave? And then WWE is going to say, bad TNA, behave. Because they are getting this. So it's going to be a big question. But I will say, this wasn't bad. Taking away how much blood there was, it wasn't a bad show. And I was entertained by it. It wasn't perfect, but I was entertained. Now, you guys tell me below how you feel about it. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace. I haven't said that in a long time.